So I mentioned Pascal Siakam in that Raptors video I did, but he's been good enough to where I just really want to talk about this dude for a whole vid. I mean, his improvement from his rookie season, where he averaged 4 points in about 55 games, or even his second season, 7 points for basically the whole season, to where he is now, which is 25 a game, 8.5 rebounds, 4 assists, making threes, posting up, doing stuff in transition, looking better as a playmaker, defensively still really good. Like, has there been a player who has improved this much, this quickly in his NBA career? I mean, Giannis has been on a similar trajectory, but did it happen in basically 3 years? I mean, if we remember Siakam, this was a dude who was great in transition, and he was an energy guy. He would just come in and he would occasionally like have some big moments, and sometimes it'd be like kind of whatever. Last season, even as he was making threes, he was still hesitating on his three-pointers, you know? The whole story all year was, well, is he going to be able to make them in the playoffs? And he didn't really make them in the playoffs. He shot 28% on 4 threes a game. He was still very good. But to be where he's at now this season, where he's shooting threes with defenders in his face from everywhere on the floor, not just open corner threes, and he's beating guys off the dribble kind of all the time, half court, full court. He's still a beast in transition. I don't even know what to make of all this, because while I did think he was going to get a little better, I thought he was going to go from like 17 a game to maybe 20, because Siakam is just breaking the rules of what we should expect from a dude's improvement year to year. I mean, at this point, I'm thinking, what's stopping him from averaging like 30 a game next year, you know what I mean? Or hell, 30 a game the second half of the season. Anyway, let's dive into all this from Siakam, and I do want to focus on the three-point shooting a little bit more. So, good lord, 38% on 6 a game, and he's really not thinking about his threes anymore. He's just going up with them. And the one thing with Siakam was his form was always the type of form where it was like, I think you could see this transition because he kind of shoots it on the way up, and his release, while it was mechanical up to this season in the sense of you can tell he's thinking about like how his entire form works, it was the type of form where it was like, yeah, I could see this speeding up and being a little bit more fluid, assuming that you just take a crap ton of shots in the offseason and stuff. And that's basically happening now. I mean, Siakam will dribble up floor, and he'll just pull up at the top of the key. I mean, if I look at his threes, it's like 67% of his threes have been assisted, whereas last season it was 98, which is crazy for a dude who even 3 years ago didn't look like he'd ever be able to do anything as a shooter. And this does so much for the Raptors offense because you really can't leave him open anymore. I mean, teams are still going to dare him to shoot, possibly because his reputation is still kind of like, oh, we can dare this dude. I feel like that sometimes takes a little bit longer around the league to click. But it's also because we know that he can go off the dribble. And he's got that spin move, and he's got an array of moves that he, of course, did not have when he walked into the NBA. And so now, between being able to make open threes, contested threes, and go off the bounce, you can't ignore him. He can also attack mismatches. His post-up numbers have been pretty good this season. He's averaging, 1.05 points a possession, and he's averaging about 3.5 post-ups a game. So, like, what can't this guy do on offense at this point, you know? I mean, I guess the one thing is you can still dare him to be a playmaker, but your defense still has to be pretty damn good, and you got a game plan for that sort of thing. So I don't know if we're going to see that as much in the regular season. In the postseason against a smart defense, no doubt. But, I mean, at this point, who says Siakam can't grow into being an awesome passer? You know what I mean? Like, seriously, nobody saw this coming. I mean, now you've got a dude, I just mentioned the dribbling and the shooting, but if he's also going to be able to post up, then it's like you can do anything you want with him on offense, because if the other team switches, you can attack that. If you trap the guards, this guy can definitely go off the dribble and make that happen. He's not like Ibaka, where taking 2 dribbles would be an accomplishment. And then, of course, their transition, cutting, offensive rebounds, and all that. Like, I don't know how the hell you deal with this dude. I really don't. I mean, he is the main thing in Toronto's offense now, and we've seen, we've seen great players of all different levels get slowed down in big playoff series. So, I'm not saying it's impossible to defend Siakam, but this is something. It's the only way to put it. This is definitely something. I mean, he could be in line for most improved player again. I mean, I think of Ingram as probably the winner of that. I'm sure there's other guys who I just can't think of in this very moment. I'll probably remember like 2 hours from now or something. But yeah, Siakam continues to be great. Not pretty good, not very good, great. I mean, where does he rank in the NBA right now? Without really thinking about it, I'll say like top 15. I mean, if I think about it, you have the first group, which is like 7 or 8 players, something like that, starting at LeBron, probably ending at like Luka. Can we put Luka in there already? I don't know. If Luka's not in that group, he's definitely in the next group, which is like Luka, PG, Kyrie, Bradley Beal, other dudes that I can't think of right now. And Siakam is probably in that group. 2 other names who are closer to that group than I initially would have thought. Donovan Mitchell and Devin Booker. Both of them have been really, really good. So, anyway, I don't know. Siakam's in that ballpark. And he's still getting better. I mean, is it crazy to think Siakam's going to average 7 assists a game 2 years from now? I mean, at this point, I don't even know I don't know what the guy's limit is. I really don't. I thought he was just going to be a rim runner. Then he shows up with a dribble and he can kind of make threes. Oh, okay, then he's going to average like 17 a game. Nope, now he's the primary option for the 2 seed in the Eastern Conference currently, and a team that I am warming up a little bit to thinking they might be the best team in the East. I mean, I don't know, the Celtics haven't been healthy. If we want to go that route, I mean, the Heat haven't. They haven't really had Winslow all year. Philly continues to be weird, and the Bucks, they're the Bucks. I mean, Giannis is the best player, of course, but you know, I feel like the Raptors, they could still bring out that great defense. I mean, they still got, like, look at, like, yeah, they don't have Kawhi and Danny Green, but, like, it's Lowry, Siakam, Gasol, Ibaka, OG has been good, Norman Powell's been making shots this season, and then you still have Nick Nurse running the whole show. I mean, yeah, they're not going to have Kawhi's shot making, but that defense can still be really, really good. I mean, I feel like they'd still be smart enough to slow down Giannis. They would, I think they would just cause everybody problems, including like Embiid, and at that point, I mean, if you can make Giannis a little worse, which we'll have to really see, but if you can potentially do that, and I think we can feel at least pretty good that they'll have a defensive scheme against Embiid, and there's a lot of switchability against the Celtics, which I think is kind of necessary with how many ball handlers they have, especially if Jalen is going to be a dude who can really do some stuff off the bounce now. Then the Raptors do look frightening. Now, is there any type of a move that they can pull off to improve this team a little bit? Well, they do have all of their picks, and they do have some salary filler between, I guess it would be like McCaw, Stanley Johnson, Rondé Hollis-Jefferson. It'd have to be one of those dudes, because like OG, Van Fleet, Gasol, Ibaka, Lowry, Siakam, like that's the core. I don't think you're trading any of those guys. Van Fleet has also been really good this year. So I don't know. Maybe there is a move out there. As far as a player that they could use, I mean, it's probably just what everybody needs, just like an extra 3-and-D guy. Because they've been given kind of a decent amount of minutes to like Terrence Davis, Chris Boucher, Matt Thomas has gotten some time, and I just feel like what if you just could turn all those minutes into one solid, proven 3-and-D player? I don't know who that is. I mean, I'm sure they would love to have Iguodala, but who knows how that situation plays out. And then from the rest of the league on, I don't know, you could probably find somebody, maybe like Tony Snell on the Pistons or something, you know? Or maybe just a shooter. with the idea of this team is so good defensively, they can afford to take in one guy who is more of just a catch and shoot dude who doesn't give you too much on defense. That's a possibility. Anyway, that'll do it. Siakam is great, and the dude just keeps getting better, man. It's pretty wild.